Hello friends, welcome to the session on writing letters of complaints and adjustments. Till now you must have learned various letters as a part of business correspondence. In this session we'll be learning what a complaint, various causes of complaints, why complaints are important from the business perspective. We'll cover the methodology of addressing the customer complaints through the letter of adjustments. During the later part of the session, we are going to study how to write the letters of complaints in a variety of situations and writing subsequent letters of adjustments towards those complaint letters. Let us start the session with a basic question. What is a complaint? A complaint is a statement that something is unsatisfactory or unacceptable to the customer or consumer. Because of the involvement of multiple people in the process of product and service order placements till the delivery of the goods to the customer, there is a high possibility of unintentional mistake being committed by these persons. Best businesses with excellent reputation conducted by most efficient people will still receive complaints. The complaints may be severe or trivial. In a sense, complaints are inevitable. But in today's highly competitive era, businesses can't afford to ignore the complaints. Each business will play both the roles of buyer and sellers. Many business houses have taken up one step further in inviting complaints and criticism. This helps them to improve their products, services, procedures and subsequently improve the customer experience. Let us take a look at few examples of how companies provide assistance to the customer in case of complaints, if any. Products from our day-to-day life like Cadbury Bonvita, Britannia Marie Gold Biscuits, Colleen Glass Cleaner, Sunfeast Teepee Noodles do provide contact details for feedback and complaints. We all, being customers of the goods and services, realize that it's our right to make complaints if not satisfied with the products or services. When we make legitimate complaints, we actually help the companies. Let us understand situations or occasions when the seller received the complaints. Defective packaging, dispatch of wrong quality, size, brand, pattern or color or models of goods, goods found damaged, mistakes in the invoices, poor after sale services, supply of the substandard quality or defective goods, unsatisfactory work or services. Most of the traders set a time limit within which any complaint needs to be registered. Beyond this time, the trader or supplier will not entertain any complaint. For example, HP, that is Hewlett and Packard's, which has a set of 30 days limit for filing a complaint from the receipt of items. Let us understand the perception of a common man about the word complaint. The word complaints is often perceived unpleasant due to the impressions in our mind which are due to the least attention paid to the complaints at the public services. Hence, companies use better word, that is adjustment department, than the complaints department for entertaining and addressing the complaints. Since complaints are inevitable, adjustments become the counterpart of it. In the business world, both types of letters are often written and they constitute an important part of professional correspondence. What matters most in handling such correspondence is the right attitude, the apt tone and attention to the details of the claim, facts and the adjustment offered. Let us now learn how to draft the letter of complaint. There are few standard guidelines for drafting the letters of complaints. As a complainer, in the opening lines, you should regret the need of complaint in a calm and courteous style. You should state clearly what has gone wrong with the fulfillment of the order. Reference to the order, quotation, date of arrival of the goods, etc. is necessary. State all the pertinent facts. Refer to the inconvenience, loss caused in terms of money, sales, goodwill, etc. State or suggest what steps can be taken to rectify the situation. Close with expressions of faith in the supplier's honesty and expectations of prompt and favourable action. I will now take you through a complaint letter specimen which has sections like date, your name and address, name of the authorized person / department of the seller, complete address of the seller, subject, salutation, opening lines, body of the complaint letter, and closing remarks come expectations of the complaint. Let's now understand handling complaints or letters of adjustments. Adjustments arise out of complaints and complaints are due to some kind of dissatisfaction. The approach to adjustment should be based on removing, if possible, the cause of complaint. The aim of adjustment letter is to ensure that the customer is retained by restoring his confidence into your organization, convincing him that the mistake or defect was a stray incident, making him feel that your regret was genuine. Some guidelines for drafting letter of adjustments are: a reply to a complaint letter will be a letter of apology. Hence, the writer should promptly acknowledge the customer's complaint letter and thank him or her for writing it. Express the regret for the inconvenience caused to the customer. Admit the fault if something has actually gone wrong. Assure the customer of your sincere efforts to make compensation. State what specific action you are going to take. Close with an assurance to offer better services in future. Let us take a look at some hints as per the circumstances. Situation number 1, when the customer is right. Then admit the fault without any excuse or unconvincing explanations. Regret the mistake sincerely. Express that it does not recur in future. Unnecessary details of what went wrong or how it happened are not required. A customer looks for 3 things: you regret the mistake, make amendments or corrections or adjustments wherever possible, and future promise for not to repeat such mistake. Making correction doesn't mean you're obliging the customer. You have to set things right for the customer. Situation number 2, when the customer is at fault or false complaint has been made. In this situation, though the customer is at fault, unfair, unreasonable, do not react aggressively. You can handle this by saying, perhaps you may be right, as you think so, but, and gradually take him to look at the situation from your side. If the customer can be accommodated, then do it gracefully. Otherwise, handle him respectfully and explain or discuss why you can't do so. Situation number 3, when the carrier is at fault. Express your thanks for bringing this matter to your notice. State what adjustment you are making, like replacing the damaged goods or ensuring delivery on time or reducing the prices to be paid to you, etc. Discuss the policy of handling damaged goods by the customers. Give assurance for the future dealings. Situation number 4, when some other party is at fault, like the outsourced services. In such situations, never make the customer feel that you are doubtful about them. Never deny the mistakes. Mistakes do happen. Irrespective of whose fault it is or bad services, send an immediate or prompt reply to the customers. It will send a signal that you care for your customers. Being senior members in the organization, do not blame the junior employees. Though you may have clearly defined policies to handle such situations, but be polite in handling customers' plea. Depending on these circumstances, you will have to draft different adjustments letters like granting customers' claim, refusing the claim, partial adjustments to the claim, apologizing for the inability to restore the damage caused, or making adjustments without the customer's complaint like product recall. Now, let us move on to the adjustment letter section. Like the complaint letter, it also has definite sections like subject, salutation, opening lines, body of the letter, that is likely corrective action, future assurance and closing lines. Before that, have a look at these statements which will help you in drafting the letter of adjustments. Letters can begin as, "We are really sorry to learn about your experience with our," "Thank you for taking time to write to us on the matter. Please accept our sincere apologies for," "Thank you for drawing our attention to the defect." Letters can be closed as, We would be glad to hear from you after receiving the new consignment. You can rely on our organization for high quality products and customer satisfaction. We would appreciate your feedback about your experience with our new products. We look forward to receive your further orders and assure you that they will be fulfilled promptly. We hope that our new arrangements will not cause any inconvenience. Please let us know how you feel about it. As a consumer, when the seller refuses your claim and denies to repair, replace, or refund the products bought or services hired, you may make a complaint to the consumer court. Example number 1, letter of complaint. Let's consider a situation. On behalf of your college, write a letter to a local book vendor for having sent wrong edition of a textbook in 20 copies. Ask for an immediate replacement. While composing the letter, the writer starts the letter with his office details followed by book vendor's address. The writer communicates complaint in the subject line. Wrong edition of Business Communication by Carol Lemon, Debbie Dufresne, 15th edition, Canish publication supplied. He thanks the vendor for the supply of books with a reference of purchase order, which is PO, number, and then clearly states the complaint with exact reference through book title, purchase quantity. He goes further stating the inconvenience caused, like we will not be in a position to circulate the latest edition for students and teachers reference. He quotes expected course of action. We request you to kindly replace the 15th edition by 16th edition immediately. Though the vendor's mistake has caused an inconvenience to the library functioning, still the librarian quotes the satisfactory business relationships in the statement, we are satisfied with the prompt and courteous services. So this was an example of well thought and well drafted letter of complaint. Now let's have a look at how the reply is been drafted by the vendor. Letter of adjustments. As the book vendor, you must answer or reply as promptly as possible. Definitely after investigating the genuineness of the complaint made by the librarian, your reply may be, you should open the letter with an appropriate subject, apologies for supplying wrong books. The book distributor frankly admits the mistake by apologizing in the initial section. Kindly accept our sincere apologies for shipping the wrong edition of the book, Business Communication by Carol Lemon and Debbie Dufresne, 15th edition, Canish publication. He further strengthens the business relationship with the institute by quoting, we thank you for bringing it to our notice. He purposefully quotes the best practices of the organization in these lines. We always check and then pack all the consignments to all the institutes before dispatching the orders. He also admits that this is really unfortunate on their part. He relieves the customer with his proposed corrective action that will get initiated from his side in the lines. We shall arrange for the delivery of the 16th edition of the aforementioned book in 20 copies to your office in next 2 working days, and we will collect the 15th edition as well. With an assurance that in future we will be more careful in fulfilling your orders, he closes the letter. By now, you must have got a little idea of how to draft the letter of complaints. Let's see one more different situation where we draft both the letters. Example number 2, letter of complaint. Situation is, you have been using XYZ dongle from last 6 months, but from last 2 months you are facing internet speed problem. So you write to the head customer service. And in response to this letter, being head customer service officer, you write back to this customer. Being customer, you provide all the required details like your contact details, details of whom you are writing, appropriate subject line, subject internet speed problem from past 2 months. You open up the letter with the basic information of your internet connection followed by since when you are experiencing this problem. You bring it to the notice to the head that I have filed complaints around 20 times in these months and haven't heard anything from them. They had promised 7 Mbps speed, but from the past 2 months I experience a massive slowdown as far as the internet connectivity is concerned. You provide the latest updates that yesterday I again filed a complaint to the customer care helpline number. You also inform the head that I have been paying my bill on time from last 6 months, but from last 2 months not getting the service as promised by your company. This states your dissatisfaction with the services one more time. Lastly, you pen down your request by saying, I hereby request you to look into this matter and resolve the technical problem at the earliest. The poor services have really pushed you into grief, which is politely expressed in the lines, if the services are not restored in time, then I will have to unavoidably discontinue your internet services because of the major inconvenience caused. You close the letter with an anticipation. As the complaint writer, you should be courteous, write with care and clarity, and in an inoffensive style. The purpose of writing complaint letter is not to accuse someone, but to sort out the problem and restore services or products which are due to you. Generally, it is advised that if you have drafted the letter in anger, then hold it back for a while. Have another look at it and redraft it in such a way that there is a greater chance of producing the desired response from the supplier or trader. Example number 2, letter of adjustment. As a matter of role change, now let's look at this complaint from the telephone company side. After receiving this letter as the head customer service officer, you investigate the complaint and find that the circle itself is experiencing this problem mainly because of the technical problem at the telephone tower in that region, and you have received complaints from other customers on the similar lines. You are aware of certain facts pertaining to customer experiences like a dissatisfied customer will tell between 9 to 15 people about their experience, and they are 4 times more likely to defect to the competitor if the problem is service related than price or product related. Obviously, you want to be meticulous or careful in drafting a reply to this dissatisfied customer. You specify and acknowledge the receipt of the complaint letter from the customer in the subject line itself through letter dated regarding internet speed problem. You achieve the two objectives of satisfying the customer and safeguarding the company image by the line, we first thank you for using XYZ services and kindly accept our sincere apologies for the inconvenience caused. You further describe in brief that we have received few complaints from your circle and we are rectifying the technical problem, which is mainly because of the telephone tower issue. This establishes the credibility of the company as you have investigated into the matter and found out the root cause of the problem. You promise to fix the technical problem of the circle, that is tower, in next 2 working days. You also encourage the customer to be in touch with you in future for problems if any, which is a service assurance. This letter of adjustments makes appropriate efforts to regain the customer confidence. Friends, thus we have come to an end of this session. For everybody's benefit, let me quickly summarize whatever we have learned. We studied the concept of complaints, adjustments, understood various causes of complaints. We also learned to draft letter of complaints and letter of adjustments through 2 different situations of shipment of wrong good, that is wrong edition of a library book, service problem, that is internet dongle service problem. I am sure this knowledge of drafting letters of complaint and adjustments will prove to be a great asset in your professional career. Thank you for patient listening and have a great time.